Yan ho ngayon ang napakalaking problema nitong si Marcos Jr. Kasi ang kanya ho talagang pakay sa pag-upo bilang presidente noong 2022, maibalik daw ang dignidad ng mga Marcos. Pero pati ho Banyaga, pagka narinig nila ang apelidong Marcos, isa lang ho ang pumapasok sa kanilang kaisipan. Isang diktador at magnanakaw. Panoorin ho natin ang video na to. Pero bago ho pala yan, isang like at isang subscribe. Masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga susumali sa ating community. Yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Panoorin ho natin to. Ibang klase talaga itong mga Marcos na to. Pang international ang pagiging magnanakaw at diktador. Kalebel ho yung yung taga North Korea. Matindi ho ito mga kababayan. Okay?
Where you from Philippines?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh,
I
serious?
love your dictator Marcos. Where you from Philippines?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh,
I
serious?
love your dictator Marcos.
Because you're the same. Kim Jong-un,
We
same.
like stealing money from the people.
You steal a lot?
Huh?
You steal a lot of money?
Of course, everything in North Korea belongs
And
to
that,
me. Marcos takes 10%, I take everything.
oh, you know a lot, bro.
Where you from
Nemo.
Philippines?
Yeah, oh.
Ibang klase, no? Talagang pagka narinig yung apelidong Marcos, ang unang papasok sa kaisipan ng mga, hindi lang ng mga Pilipino, pati ng mga Banyaga, ang mga Marcos na yan, diktador at magnanakaw. At dumako naman ho pala tayo doon sa ilinabas na listahan netong si Congressman Leviste. Base ho doon sa yung sa budget ho na ilinabas nitong listahan na ilinabas nitong si Congressman Leviste. Ang distrito nitong si Congressman Pulong nakuha lamang ho ng 640,000 pesos. Diba? Habang itong si Sandro Marcos, yung pinaparatangan nila na mahusay, magaling, hindi magnanakaw, ang kanyang pork barrel at allocable umabot ng 15 million. Kala ko million. 15 billion 792,195 pesos. Ganun ho katindi ang pork barrel ng Sandro Marcos na yan. Tapos ang pinaparatangan huli lang magnanakaw yung ika nga nabigyan ng 640,000. Pantakin nyo ho mga kababayan, ganyan ho silang mamulitika dyan sa House of Representatives. Ganyan ho katindi ang pamumulitika sa lugar na yan. Kung sino pa yung mga merong nagiging resulta sa kanilang trabaho, kagaya nitong si Congressman Pulong Duterte. Nung binigyan ho ng pera sa Davao yan, anong panahon ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, nagsulputan yung mga proyekto sa kanilang mga distrito. At yung mga proyekto na yon ramdam ng mga tao sa Davao. Kaya hindi walang gana yung paninira sa kanila na napakaraming insertion, napakaraming pondong nakuha. Maraming pondo, maraming insertion o kung ano pa man. Yan yung aligasyon kay Congressman Pulong Duterte. Merong resulta. Ito bang si Sandro Marcos? Yung insertion, allocable pork barrel, kung tawagin na yan na 15 billion 700 million 92 million 165 pesos, meron hubang naramdaman yung mga tao diyan sa Ilocos Norte? Di ba? Meron hubang pinapasinayaang flagship project? Meron hubang pinapasinayaang malaking tulay, malawak na kalsada, mahabang kalsada itong si Marcos Jr. dyan sa Ilocos Norte? Mga kababayan, nagnanakaw ho siya ng proyekto pero para meron ho siyang matawag na flagship project ng Marcos administration. Mantakin nyo, pupunta pa ho siya ng Davao para magnakaw lamang ng project para meron siyang ipresenta sa sambayan ng Pilipino na yun daw kuno ang gawa ng kanyang administrasyon. Wala nga hong ginastos ni singkong bingi ang sambayan ng Pilipino doon sa proyekto na yun. Donation ho yun. Ang ginawa lang ho ng DPWH doon, sinupervise, binantayan kung standard ang ginagawa ng mga Chinong nagbigay doon sa tulay na yun. Yan ho ang Marcos administration. Hindi lang ho siya pinaparatangan na magnanakaw ng pera, pati ho mga proyekto ninanakaw ho ng walang yang Marcos Jr. na yan. Rerekta ho ngayon ho tayo dito sa mayor ng Baguio City. Naging relevant na naman ho itong si Magalong na sa tingin natin isa ho sa magiging kandidato ng mga Pinklawan at Dilawan sa pagkasenador sa 2028 presidential election. Kasi itong mama na to medyo pakipot pa ho ito pero tatakbo ho ito ng pagkasenador. At sa tingin ho natin sa pagtatanggulo niya kay Marcos Jr., hindi ho ito papasok sa ticket nitong si Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero hindi ho natin alam ang pihit ng tadhana. Pero kung tayong tatanungin, kung papipiliin tayo, Attorney Vic Rodriguez, o itong si Bebot, itong si, ano pangalan nito? Yung Dole Secretary dati, at saka itong si Pastor Kibuloy, si attorney basta yung mga nasa Duterte, papipiliin tayo dito sa mama na to, doon na lang ho tayo. Sila na lang ho ang ating ikakampanya. O ito na lang ho mga kababayan, kasi hindi naman tumakbo ito At syempre hindi natin pwedeng ikumpara doon sa mga Duterte nito. Yung mga yun talagang dekalibre ang prinsipyo at paninindigan. Ang tanong ho dito, kung sakaling tatakbo itong si Atty. Rowena Guanzon at itong si Magalong, sino ho ang inyong buboto? I-comment nyo sa baba ng ating mapag-usapan yan. Pakinggan ho natin ang kanyang interview dyan sa Morning Matters. Jane.
Umaga, welcome to Morning Matters.
Good morning, Gretchen. Good morning to our listeners and viewers.
Okay, una-una ho, sabi niyo nga, no, ito po ay yung kanyang, kung saan po siya nahulog, allegedly, ito po ay under investigation, na site. Tama ho ba?
Yes, it's still considered as a crime scene. Naka-pan pa rin siya. Naka-isolated pa rin siya as a crime scene.
Oo. So ano po ang tingin niyo pong nangyari? What do we know about why this location was chosen by the USEC?
I don't really have any idea. No? Maraming mga speculations, maraming intrigues, maraming nagbabanggit na tinitingnan niya yung mga rock netting project. Pero I doubt na nagkataon lang siguro na napili niya yung Cannon Road. But and that entire stretch, marami namang rock netting doon. Siguro nakita rin niya yung mga rock netting projects na yun. There's no way na ma-ignore mo yung rock netting kasi napakarami.
Oo. Ito ho ba yung nilakaran po ninyo with Secretary Vince Dizon?
Negative.
And the President?
Yan yung pinuntahan namin ni Presidente. The Presidente.
That exact site. Oo.
Yeah, malapit doon. Mga 1 kilometer going down to Manila. Yung site na binisita namin ni Presidente, most probably around 1 kilometer pa going down to Manila.
Oo. Sa inyo pong pagtatanong, ano po ang nakikita niyo mga interesting na mga detalye dito? For example, we're seeing now photos of the driver taking a selfie with the USEC. Ilang beses po sila nagbalik dyan sa site na yan. Pangalawa, yung handling po ng police. Sinisante po yung sa mga taga-tuba, inilipat sila kasi hindi po nila itinuring itong crime scene. So, as a former policeman, what would you say about the handling and the details surrounding this case? What details were curious to you?
Well, in fairness to the police, Gretchen, maayos naman yung kanilang pagkakaprocess. Isang nakaligtaan. And that is the recovery of the cell phones. But in so far as recovering mga critical items and documents doon sa car, talagang hinalughog nila yung sasakyan Pero ang nakalimutan nilang i-recover yung cellphone, which is actually one essential essential piece of evidence yun.
So, ganun lang ho, nakalimutan lang ho?
Yes.
Is that police negligence? Oo.
Actually, nangyari, Gretchen, is nasabihan nung provincial director, yung kanyang chief of police, na i-safety. Ibig sabihin, secure yung lahat ng mga pieces of evidence, critical documents. Unfortunately, yung chief of police naman, naging complacent. Hindi niya na-recover yung yung bag na containing yung safe, yung device, yung cellphone.
Oo. Pero sa protocol ho, dapat ho ba sinisecure ng police yun?
Yes, dapat lahat yun. Dapat yun. Pati yung mga hawak ng driver, kailangan din i-secure po din yun. Pati yung mga cellphones niya, i-secure yung bag.
Oh. So isn't that negligence on the part of the chief of police?
Yes, totally negligence. But in so far as processing yung mismong actual na lugar, nila okay. Doon lang nila nakaligtaan.
Oo. Okay. Mayor, yung marami po nagtatanong kung yung 20 to 30 meters na height po nung kung saan po yung cliff na yon, would it be enough to sustain that kind of injury and trauma to the body of the undersecretary?
Yes, just to give you an idea, no? I-visualize mo, that's about 10 stories. 10 stories. Katapos yung mga rocks to sa baba are jagged. Maski na bumagsak ka na nakapaa doon, malamang siguro critical serious injury ang data mo doon na Gretchen.
Malalim mo talaga yan.
Okay. But this section of the road, wala po bang nagtaka na parang nagsistay ho sila dyan? Kasi it seems to be like cars speeding by that section. Pero may mga katanungan din, kung of course, may speculation na una-una kung nag-suicide po ito, pangalawa kung may tumulak, what could have been possible at that site given the circumstances surrounding the area itself?
Well, pricing na nung pag-akyat nila ng Baguio, huminto siya doon sa lugar na yon In fact, kaya sila umalis doon. Magtatagal pa sana sila doon Kaya lang umalis sila dahil na nakita sila ng mga pulis. And very tight yung section na yun ng road. At hindi ka basta-basta makakapagparada doon. Kaya nasita sila ng pulis. At sinabi sa kanila, you cannot stop here. You have to, proceed. So, yung iniwan nila, they have to proceed to the city of Baguio. After that, they came back in the afternoon. At doon na pinaalis yung driver at sinabi niya sa driver, sabi niya doon sa driver, you have to leave kasi sisitayin tayo ng pulis. At from that location, kung saan siya tumalon, siguro down the road, meron pang mga bahay, mga 100 meters na makikita. Pero, siyempre, hindi na nila malalaman siguro, hindi na nila siguro na-observe na may tao pala doon. And besides, if you look at the result of the warrant doon sa room, the search warrant, meron din na recover na knife doon and several types of medicines, mga ganon.
May na-recover ho na knife?
Yes, knife.
Grabe, meron.
Saan ho nakita yung kutsilyo?
Meron kutsilyo. Pero hindi dineklarang crime scene noong una. Tapos sinasabi nila wala daw foul play. Anak ng Petra, merong problema diyan mga kababayan. Merong kutsilyo sa crime scene. Detalye na masinsin na pag-iimbestiga ang kailangan ho natin dito. Ano ho ba? May kalawang na yan, merong dugo, luma na. Kasi pwede nahulog lang yan, naiwan dyan. Dapat
Doon sa loob ng room nila sa Ion Hotel. Ion Hotel.
Okay.
sa iyon naman pala, sa iyon. Baka nagbalat lang ng prutas kaya merong naman.
So, to your expert assessment, what do you think really happened? Was the DILG right to rule out foul play? What questions need to be answered, do you think?
Yeah, may reason siguro. No? May mga certain information pa siguro na hawak si Secretary Remulla, kaya niya nasabi yan. But with all the information that I have, hindi pa ako conclusive. Kasi I need to secure yung cellphone. I need to go over the content of the cellphone. Siguro doon ko lang malalaman talaga kung ano talaga ang nangyari. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung mga information ni Secretary Remulla.
Pero Mayor, pasensya kung tatanungin ko ito, would you confirm that this was really the Undersecretary, Yusek Catalina Cabral, who died here?
Yes, yes, definitely. There's no doubt about it. Isa yan sa mga tinignan ko mabuti. I made sure na matutuloy yung autopsy. There's no doubt about it. They have all the pieces of evidence that would clearly identify that it's Yusek or Miss Cabral.
What pieces of evidence?
Well, marami silang comparison na ginawa doon sa kaya sasabi talaga nila, there's no doubt about it, it is Yusek Cabral.
Pero hindi niyo personally nakita.
Hindi na.
Okay, let's go to the rock netting project here, kung saan po yung site ng kanyang fall. How critical is this site in the build-up of the case over at the ICI?
Well, I do not really know kung ano yung link nung rock netting. Kasi ang interview lang sa akin so yung lugar ba yun may rock netting? Maraming rock netting doon. At yun na yung sinulat ng ating reporter. But I do not really know kung may link sa kanya. But definitely talagang malaki yung halaga. Doon pa lang sa Cannon Road pa lang, 19 billion na ang nagastos. Based on the records that I was able to gather, 19 billion na doon. And about 100 meters before the site of incident, merong mahabang rock netting projects doon.
Okay, Mayor, kayo po may you know of the inner workings of the ICI, no? Was there ever an expression that she wanted to become a state witness? Yung po yung sabi ni Congressman De Viste. And how does her death impact all of the investigations? She was a central figure. Alam po niya yung mga yung allocable ng mga lawmakers po natin. So gaano kalaki po ang impact ng kanyang pagkawala at bakit kaya hindi po siya binigyan ng security? Kung ganun po ka-central po ang kanyang role.
Well, alam mo kasi, Gretchen, probably I had the time to interview him prior to the hearing kasi pakiusap ako kay Chairman Reyes na kung pwede kausapin ko muna siya in private para at least to fire her up para sabihin niya to tell all. Pero karamihan talagang denial lang siya. Denial lang siya. At pag naiipit na siya, wala na siyang ginawi kundi turo si Secretary Bunuan. In fact, ako yung nag-raise dun sa allocables because I have all the... And I showed him several numbers. Tinanong ko sa kanya, una-una ko nga binanggit sa kanya is, why is it that you're perceived as the most powerful user in DPWH, that you're even capable of countermanding the orders of your boss? Sinabihan ko siya. Siyempre, denial siya, hindi naman po sir. Can you come up and come closer to this board and I'll show you some numbers, this chart? Nang pinakita ko sa kanya yung mga numbers doon, showing yung mga allocations, yung mga iba't ibang mga iba't ibang mga...
Tinusta ho pala siya sa ICI nung pinatawag siya doon. At itong ito pang si Magalong ang isa sa mga tumusta sa kanya diyan sa ginawang pag-imbestiga na yan. Pinalapit pa pala nitong si Magalong. Undersecretary lang ho yan. Di ba? Pero kung yun ang script na idikdik si Cabral at iabsuelto si Bunuan, siyempre yun ang utos Kung yan ang utos, wala talagang magagawa tong ungas na to.
Bigla siyang nanginig. Nag-stammer siya, humingi siya ng tubig, and while drinking water, nanginginig siya. At at the end, sinabi ko sa kanya...
Baka wala kayong gustong paniwalaan sa mga sinasabi niya, kaya nanginig siya. Di ba? Ganun lang naman ho yun. Baka lahat ng sinasabi niya, ang dinidiin nyo, siya lang. Kahit anong paliwanag niya, ang script nyo, siya lang talaga ang dapat sisihin at hindi mapunta kay Secretary Bunuan ng sisi dyan sa mga maanumalyang flood control scandal na yan at yung mga insertion na yan. Talagang manginginig yung ali. Ito talagang sisi.
Yeah,
Kaya
he's
hindi ka
responsible
magiging
for
senador,
this.
Brad
I'm not supposed to be responsible for this being the planning officer. And immediately sabi niya ako na wala na siya may rason. Sabi niya, si Secretary po
So now, how do you think can we piece together her part in the investigation, knowing na siya po ang makakapagturo, kailangan po si Secretary Bonoan. Si Secretary Bonoan lang ba ang pwede?
Well, lagi niya tinuturo si Secretary Bonoan. And of course, yung mga in charge doon sa BICAM, all those responsible na lawmakers to sa BICAM.
Baka doon pa lang sa pagpaplano, siya na yung pwedeng maiturong fall guy, di ba? Hindi linaliman ng investigasyon. By the way, para dito kay Magalong, nasa na pala si Bonoan ngayon? Di ba yung itinuturo ni Cabral? Di ka ba nakakurious bakit wala pa rin siya sa Pilipinas mapahanggang sa ngayong mga panahon na to? Pambihira talaga tong si Magalong.
Because very glaring. For example, yung NEP ni Congressman Tariela, sipin mo, dapat yun 20 billion. Ang NEP niya, after the BICAM, naging 20.9 billion. Yung kay Padnaligan, ang NEP niya is 1.5 billion. Tapos after the BICAM, naging 20.7 billion. At maraming ganun pa na nangyari. Hindi siguro kasi laki nung nakita ko doon sa Mindoro na 20 billion. Pero may nakita ko dyan. Ang mga net dyan, 5 billion. Tapos ang naging, after the BICAM, naging 12.9 billion. Nangyaring ganyan eh. Kaya sabi ko sa kanya, what is the basis of the increase? Sabi ko sa kanya, and why did you allow it? What is the absorptive capacity of these district engineers? Are they capable of carrying out a 20 billion project in a year time? Wala, hindi niya. Katapos, ang sagot na niya sa akin. Sabi niya, sinita rin siya ni Secretary Dave. Tinanong din siya ni Secretary. At dahil sabi niya, turo lang niya. Si Secretary po eh. Kaya, walang indications whatsoever that she's willing to, during the time na in-interview namin, because that was the first interview, there were no indications whatsoever that she's
She wanted to become state witness. Oo.
Hindi
Bilang
siya pwede
Pangulo,
maging state witness. Hindi siya
bilang
pwede maging
Pangulo,
state witness.
bakit
Hindi daw siya pwede mag-state witness. Pambira, oo. Hindi daw siya pwede maging state witness base dito kay Magalong. Okay na yun. Kung hindi siya pwede maging state witness dahil nga madidiin si Bonoan doon sa kanyang mga isisiwalat. At ito namang si Bonoan, madidiin niya si Marcos Jr., hindi ho talaga siya pwede maging state witness.
State witness. Hindi siya
bilang
pwede maging
Pangulo,
state witness.
bakit ho? Kasi napaka-central po. Hindi po ba siya ang pwedeng magturo?
Marami siyang information na dinala sa hukay. Pero I hope na kung ma-recover yung cellphone na yun, we'll be able to get a lot of essential, critical, sensitive information.
Okay. Mayor, pasensya na ho. Wala na tayong
Lipat naman ho tayo dito kay Congressman Libiste. Historical naman ho ito mga kababayan.
About the documents given via soft copy to you by Yusek Cabral on September 4. And I understand some of these documents are quite controversial. But let me also ask you, first of all, ano ho yung nature ng documents na ito that you found controversial? Exactly what would they prove or disprove as far as irregularities and anomalies are concerned?
Siguro kung dagdag lang sa tanong ni Ed, ano yung context nung pagkuha nyo ng documents? What was the context then? At bakit binigay sa inyo ni Yusek Cabral?
First, Mr. Lingao's question, there's no surprise that almost every congressman and senator is allowed to insert projects into the DPWH budget. The document just proves that it happens even in the National Expenditure Program before it is even submitted in the House, which supposedly it comes from the DPWH, and shows which project has been proposed by which proponent. The more surprising part is that even members of the executive, including cabinet secretaries and undersecretaries outside the DPWH, have their own flood control project insertions according to the list. And there are even private individuals, I can say, who submit projects into the DPWH net. To Mr. Llamas's question on how I got it, I have also stated that on September 4, with a phone call back to Yusek Cabral and Yusek Cabral also to Secretary Vince. Secretary Vince had to release the documents to me, and I'm thankful that he did so in the interest of transparency. I also previously visited Yusek Cabral's office 7 and had other communications requesting for information on the DPWH budget per congressional district, because I think this affects all congressmen during the budget allocation period. And it was after Secretary Vince was to the DPWH that it was finally released to me. So I'm thankful for that, and I hope that the DPWH can make public more information about the budget. I think we can imagine you're sitting on a wealth of information that would be very interesting to the public.
To clarify lang sa Congressman, no? Facilitate ni Secretary Vince Dizon yung pagbigay sa inyo ng mga documents. At ano yung scale ng documents? Gaano siya karami? Pag sinabing binigay sa inyo, anong kanon? Gaano karaming volumes yun? No? Gaano kalawak yung information na ibinigay sa inyo?
I set the meeting through Director Alex Bote from the office of Yusek Cabral. And when I was there on my second visit, Secretary Vince Dizon and Yusek Cabral called each other, and I asked that it be released in the spirit of transparency, which was already the declared policy of the DPWH under Secretary Dizon. And Secretary Dizon told Yusek Cabral, yes, let's be transparent and let's release it to Leandro. The scale of the documents is quite deep, and I think I can share that maybe Leon hadn't seen the documents when he told Yusek Cabral to release it, because he was only a few days in and hadn't actually been going to the DPWH yet. He was still, I think, turning over from the OTR. And the documents on just one tab are more than 17,000 rows, and there's multiple tabs, but the tab that I'm referring to is of the around that much in projects, 17,000 plus the 2025 National X program. Each
Good.
project in the NEP has notes including the proponents and other hand instructions that
Ami, before I ask, Ami, go ahead.
Nag-freeze siya. Okay, Congressman. Ang sabi kasi ngayon today Congressman, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Ang sabi ngayon today ni Senate President Pro Tempore Ping Lacson, turned over na daw yung documents to authorities. Would you be aware of that?
I gave the documents to the ICI and the Ombudsman in
Yeah.
my meetings November 18, 19, and 26. Rather, I showed it to them, and they said it was the first time that they saw it, and they came to my office to look at it further, and they hadn't asked any questions after they visited. They said that it was helpful for them to find out who are the proponents in the ghost projects that they have been doing site inspections on.
Did they give you any indication if they will release it to the public? Kasi hindi namin alam until you talked about it. We didn't know na meron ng ganon. Although meron namang nagsasabi na Cabral had a ledger that included all those insertions. Pero did the ICC or anyone tell you, did they give you any hint when they intended to make it public? Or if they intended to make it public?
Pambihira, walang ledger, merong ledger, meron ho siyang spreadsheet, meron ho siyang ika nga personal knowledge, pero hindi ho siya pwedeng maging state witness. Palakpakan ho natin si Magalong. Pambihira to si Magalong. Ang lakas ho talaga ng tama sa utak ng mama na yun. Ang klase.
Congressman?
Nag-freeze ata eh.
Oo,
I
nag-freeze siya.
think he froze.
Yeah, nag-freeze. Nag-freeze.
Okay.
O yun. Kasi hindi ba remember, may nagsabi na rin, I think it was Ping. One of the persons we interviewed, sinabi sa atin, there is a ledger. Maybe it was one of the Remulias. There is a ledger and it contains nga yung mga details about the budget insertions. Pero hindi natin alam na it could be the same thing. Tapos siya na nga ang sabi ngayon today ni Ping Lacson na i-turn over na daw sa authorities. Bakit hindi natin
I think he's
babalik
back.
Can I repeat my question? Congressman, did you hear me?
Yes, I heard you.
Yeah.
So-
Did they give any indication if they
Quite
plan to release it to the public?
As same files. So I suppose that the ombudsman and the ICI can also get that and even more files from the DPWH. But when I met with the ICI, and it was Secretary Singson whom I was mostly coordinating that meeting with, they were more focused on taking a look at it because it was the first time that it came to their and I'm not sure if the files that Ombudsman Remulla was referring to are necessarily the same ones, because this file refers to notes that are digitized as well. There's a column that reads handwritten instructions, and the assumption is that in the DPWH they take a lot of notes of things, and it will be good for the DPWH Planning Services Office to just share everything with the ICI and Ombudsman, which, according to then Commissioner Singson, was not done.
Sir, sir, let me just get something clear. So we're not really talking about insertions in the same sense as yung mga BICAM insertions. What your list really shows are proponents dun sa level pala ng NEP building. Dun sa pagpuputulong pala ng NEP.
Yes. Some people.
I think
But
we get
in my opinion, it's even more of an insertion if it's in the NEP. The NEP is supposedly in submission, and until the latest budget deliberations, the DPWH denies that the NEP are including insertions or proposals of politicians. And sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
we can hear you.
Sir, baka it's better if we use na lang a phone. We have somebody call up your cell phone kasi mukhang yung data nahirapan tayo sa data eh.
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, kung ano pa man, kung gusto yung tapusin yung ano na yan, interview nitong si Llamas na hindi nagsusupilyo dito kay Congressman Libiste. Punta lang ko kayo dyan sa One News PH. Maraming salamat to. Mag-ingat to kayo lahat. Mahal natin ng Pilipinas. Merry Christmas ho sa lahat, no? Enjoy nyo lang ho. Walang masyadong, walang masyadong mainit ngayong mga araw na to. Kalmado lang, ika nga, di ba? Kumbaga lilo muna sa politika. Enjoy nyo muna yung kapaskuhan kasama ng yung mga kapamilya, mga mahal sa buhay. Maraming salamat to mga kababayan. Lahat ng Pilipinas.